that it's the mere invite that can get you the turkey drop. The Thanksgiving mistake that makes him pull away. This is an important thing for you to know because Google searches and social media data shows that this week is the biggest week or one of the biggest weeks of the year for people to consider breaking up and for breakups to happen. And we don't want that to happen. So that's what we are talking about in this video. And I want you to understand what you need to do, why you need to do it, what he's thinking, and what women tend to do that hurts us around the holidays. I don't want any breakups over the holidays. Not a fun time to be breaking up at all. And truly, statistics show that it is a big time of year for breakups. Pretty much there are around 3 major times that breakups are more prevalent. And certainly people go through a lot of turmoil around these times that can lead to breakups. And that is this week through the Christmas and New Year's holiday, then again right before Valentine's Day, and then again a week in July. Really interesting, but we are focusing on this date of the week prior leading up to Thanksgiving and why it's so significant for so many couples. Who am I to talk about this? I'm Coach Paula Grooms, a dating and relationship coach for women, licensed social worker and author of this book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. I help you find a Mr. Right, get an ex back, or grow an existing relationship with a man you truly desire so you create the relationship of your dreams and level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve. That's what I'm all about. I do it in my program coaching and work with women one-on-one so you can continue to get exactly what it is that you want from your relationship. Because make no mistake, relationships are our realm as women. We invest in them in a way that men do not until they make a decision to do so, typically via marriage. But there are other ways that men are showing complete commitment these days without doing the legal thing of marriage. I'm not pro or con either or. I do think if you are going to be having children together, marriage is probably still the best way for things to go the distance for the male in the equation. And I outline this in the book because it's really, really important for you to understand that we see commitment as a natural outgrowth of love. Men view commitment as a responsibility. It doesn't mean that they don't love their partner and want to be with them, but it's a fundamental difference between us that when you get it, you have an advantage in allowing for your relationship to get to the commitment that you most desire and that you both, male and female, deserve because it's going to make you the best possible couple and the happiest and most fulfilled you can be. Because make no mistake, we know that happiness is a fleeting emotion. It comes quickly, it goes quickly. Fulfillment is something that is lasting. And long-term, lifelong relationships where the two partners are committed to making it work lead to the most fulfillment for both, and certainly the best outcome for children that might come out of that partnership. So we are talking about, in this video, the Thanksgiving holiday, the holidays in general. Most specifically, the week leading up to Thanksgiving is a week that statistically we know most breakups, if they're going to happen around this time, do happen. And it's because of the extra strain put on relationships due to a number of things. So let's outline why this particular time is so important for you to be aware of so that the breakup that could happen doesn't. So when we look at the whys for men that I just outlined, which is a man must make a decision to be in a committed relationship. And that decision, he makes it and forgoes all other women. We know fundamentally that men, if they can, and their opportunities present themselves, they would want to sleep with most women within a certain age range and certain different things, height, weight, whatever, hair color, doesn't matter. But most men would do that. That's normal and natural. Not that they should or will do it, but it is their natural inclination to do that. Their natural inclination is to not be in a committed relationship. A committed relationship happens for a man out of readiness, and it's typically 5 criteria that I outline in my book, Why Won't He Commit? So that you understand the male mind so that you can better get what you desire from a relationship and have a man be most attentive and happy in that relationship as well. So what tends to happen is a couple of things. And I want to outline different situations that can come up and how the breakups happen around this Thanksgiving holiday. So if you are simply dating someone and nothing has been said from him, meaning he has instigated the conversation, he has said, I feel a certain way, I'm interested in maybe going the distance with you, anything that isn't really close to engagement, like seriously, you have to be that far along before you invite him to your family Thanksgiving? Absolutely. In other words, if he has not made a complete commitment to you via a verbal outline of absolute commitment and partnership, generally speaking, the asking him to your family Thanksgiving could and may very well incite him breaking it off. And here is why. It speaks to where you see the relationship. And if he has not made that decision about you, he will, using the vernacular, freak out a bit. It will make him sit up and take stock of what he's doing with you. This is if he's a good guy, he should be doing that. But you see, if you have instigated it by proffering a family Thanksgiving, you have set the ball rolling, which if you just didn't do that, he may coast with it and you may get there down the road. But you see, if you make the offer, it will tend to set him on a path of thinking about things in a different way, knowing that you think about things in a certain way. And make no mistake, you may do it out of just being naive about it and thinking, well, what's the harm? For example, he and you may be in a certain city and your parents maybe are a few hours drive away and his are across the country. And there's no Friendsgiving happening. And you think, well, I can't possibly go and not invite him. That would be rude. It is a time where if someone is alone, you would never not invite them. But if you understand the fact that you need to be a worthy opponent in your relationship with a man, you have to show him via your action that you understand where you are in your relationship. It is the mere invite alone, or even the possibility of the invite, that has men wanting to run at this time of year. Ergo, why so many Google searches for breaking up around Thanksgiving, and so many do happen. A poll of 668 people by Ask Men found that 46% thought Thanksgiving was the, quote, best holiday to dump someone. Now, most of those have skewed young, but it is the whole idea of turkey drop, because it's almost like the heat is turned up and it's too much, typically for the man to handle. For example, if you are in a relationship and you really like a man and he asks you to his family Thanksgiving, well, you're going to think, oh, well, maybe he has real interest. He wants me to meet his family. Yes, it's telling you something. Now, he may just be being nice, but typically men don't do that because men don't act out of just being nice. They are very cognizant of what doing certain things in a relationship or dating situation shows. But if you have real interest in him, you will accept it and certainly won't break up over it and freak out over it. If you really don't don't like him and you think there is no future in this, maybe you would decline the offer and you would say, I don't think we should continue seeing each other. So you see how it can go both ways. But typically, across the boards, it's mostly that women are being nice, as we tend to be, and ask a man to a family Thanksgiving because we don't want to appear rude and we think it's really not a big deal because it's a giving holiday, a time of gathering and giving thanks, and everyone's welcome, and it sends the wrong message. Another big foundational premise in my book: women relate via verbalization, men relate via action. So you must take an appropriate action, which is not inviting him. Show him, I know where things are, I understand where things are. And how do you do that? In the context of, well, what are you doing for Thanksgiving if he doesn't have anywhere to go and it feels rude? Well, you do have to lightly address that. And you do it in kind of a fun and flirty way that doesn't put strain on the relationship. It is exactly the wrong time to put any strain on your relationship. And it's something a la, I'm going to be going home for Thanksgiving, and so I'm going to be gone for the weekend. I'm really going to miss you. Well, what are you going to be doing? You just have to, because if you show him that you are farther along than he is, you're going to hurt yourself. It's just the existing reality of things between men and women. It's not fair. It's many times disappointing that we have to do that. But I call it putting a man in the family way before he's made the decision to take you on as the responsibility he sees commitment as being. I outline this from something that you probably had experience with, which is the puppy principle, meaning you may love puppies, but until you are ready to adopt, and that's according to some criteria, where you live in your finances, can you be not only responsible for the puppy, but to the puppy, meaning the time, attention, and affection it requires, and you know that it does, you will not adopt, because men love us like we love all puppies, is how the man views it. And good men should be thinking about it in terms of being responsible not only for you, and you may not even need him to be responsible for you in any way, shape, or form. That's how he, if he's a good man, will view it, because you might have more puppies that he's going to be responsible for. So you have to think along those lines as well. So good men do think about it and are responsible. Women relate via our emotions. Men relate via their decisions. It is yin and yang, night and day, sun and rain. If we meet a man we like and we have sex with him through any amount of time, we are committed. We are bonded. We don't have to make a decision about it. It just happens. It does not for men. Men do not commit out of love alone, and they in no way commit through sex. If you haven't watched other of my videos here, I have a video, for example, and I'll put it in this description below, Dr. Tara Swart explaining the neuroscience about hormonal differences between men and women and how a woman bonds through sex and men only bond through having sex when they are already in love. A woman, if she has sex, she will fall for that man most typically. If she likes him at all and has enough sex with him, she will fall for him. That's just a given. It's hormonal. We like to think we can outdo our hormones and our natural animal instincts, so to speak, because we are a human animal. We can't truly. Like I said, if you like a man enough and you have sex with him, you will bond. It's just a given. We have to know this and be very protective of having sex with a man because of that. And we have to be very choosy, and we have to know he is a real potential. And that sucks. There's no doubt about it, because if you are a normal woman, you have feelings, you want to be free, and you are to have sex as you like, but it is more costly potentially for you than it is for him at all. When you understand all this, you understand that he has to make a decision to be committed. And if you make suggestions that put it in a realm of being farther along than he's deemed you are, he will get cold feet. And for the man, it's much easier for him to just pull out, no pun intended, and leave. Whereas for you, it could really be hurtful, not only for this moment, but for the potential of the relationship. Because say you just met a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, maybe even this summer, there isn't any one size fits all in terms of amount of time together. It's where the man is in his life. If he is just coming off of another relationship and you met 6 months ago, it's still maybe much, much too early. You're not going to go wrong with erring on the side of, I need to go to my family's. We'll see each other for this amount of time before the holiday or after the holiday or what have you. Make your holiday something not family oriented, because you put him in the family way and, your Uncle Steve has one too many drinks and asks, so when are you going to make a solid woman of her, Josh? Some offhanded comment, or your mother is a little too suggestive of things moving forward or whatever. You really can't trust it. And plus, he will feel under the gun. It's just a bad idea. If he wants to invite you to his, hey, that's telling you something. And great, go, because you're going to find out a lot. Excellent. We want the reverse. We are equal. Men and women are equal. But what has happened is we've made everything the same, and equal doesn't mean the same. The reason we say it's like apples and oranges. Well, apples and oranges are equal fruit, but we use that term because they are different. They need different soils, different climate, different ways of growing them. It's the same with men and women, and why we can't do the same things men do. If we do the same things men do, we will get treated as a man treats not a woman he's going to be with, not a woman he's going to maybe partner with, marry, etc. Yin and yang. It is an unfortunate, unequal reality, even though we are equal. So you must do yourself the favor of understanding and knowing that it's the mere invite that can get you the turkey drop. Just the invite, because it is forecasting to him where you think the relationship is. And make no mistake, in any relationship, there's typically one person that wants it that little bit more. That one person who's kind of lagging behind. It's rarely neck and neck. But if you, as the woman, you go slow enough, you're the tortoise and the hare, if you're the tortoise and you just keep plugging along, doing the mechanics of men, which is what I talk about here, you start living in the knowing that you can have this man if he's who you want. That's through manifestation and the right mindset, meaning overcoming your own anxieties, erroneous beliefs, systems, what you're telling yourself. You add in the mechanics of men. These 3 pillars can absolutely get you what you want. It's very nuanced, of course. Each relationship is different. If you meet someone, say you're 32, he's 30, he has his house, he's not dated for several years, he says he wants children, he thinks the world of you, everything's great, it's been 6 months, you still don't invite him first. No, but that man is likely more ready, again, depending on a lot of factors, he could be more ready to move things forward than a man who, you were 32, he's 35. He was married for 7 years. He got divorced a year ago. That man is not going to be where that 30-year-old is. It's not the same for men. If you don't know my rule of thumb, a man, he must be signed, sealed, delivered, divorced for a really good amount of time. If children are involved, even longer. I typically say a minimum of 3 years of a divorce, because for men, it is a public failure. He made a wrong decision. to marry you? Yeah. Again, so many factors can come into play. I was divorced, young, relatively, been married for 11 years. We got divorced because I didn't want to have children, and he decided he had to have children. So by the time we divorced, 11 years in a young person's life, a long time, he was ready because he was ready to have children. So there is an outlier. They happen. But rule of thumb, if you meet someone who has not been divorced for very long, I mean, minimally for a man a year, he's not going to be ready. So there are just two examples, very similar, but very different. So if you want to find out where your man is on a scale of being ready, willing, and able to commit to you, because there are specifics about that man, specifics about you, take the consumer versus buyer relationship test. You can take it on my website, coachpaulagrooms.com. I will link it here. It tells you whether your man is an ultimate consumer for you, a mixed messages consumer, a prospective buyer, or a bona fide buyer. Listen, if you're with a bona fide buyer, you pretty much know it, and he's going to be asking you to his Thanksgiving. But if you ask a mixed messages man, or even a low on the scale prospective buyer to your Thanksgiving and put him in the family way, you're going to freak him out. He will pull back. And if you handle that pullback incorrectly, if you have done this already, say you've asked him already, and he's pulling back, if you don't give the space and you freak out, you're going to only exacerbate it, and he's going to cut the whole thing, and you're going to end up getting turkey dropped. We don't want that. So if you need help with this, you can talk to me in many different ways. You can talk to me for free as a guest on the podcast. I have over 200 episodes of relationship conversations with women about their specifics. There are some universals like we talk about here, but things are unique. The man is unique. You are unique. The circumstances are unique. And there are things that I can give you an objective viewpoint, where friends and family, very hard to get that objective viewpoint because they want what you want and they don't want to see you struggle or be unhappy. I can give you a plan, and I do this in my Lure Him Back program specifically to help a woman get a man back and know if there is real potential. Deal with your subconscious programming and anxiety that comes from that. Keep your mindset right while you're working and being in this relationship. Then the manifesting. You need to be living in the knowing that you are going to get what you want and you are going to have that fulfillment and happiness in the long-term relationship you desire. And then the mechanics of men. Doing what we know statistically works best with men. So this is an important video for you at this time of year. Between now and Christmas, if you are here in the States specifically, it's a time fraught with nerves about a lot of different things, and many things come up. Don't make major moves about anything during this time. Stay the course. Put blinders on. Know where you are going, what you want to be working on for yourself during this time. Focus on your family and other things. What we really want to gauge, if you're dating at all, is, this is around the world, New Year's Eve. What's going to be happening with New Year's Eve? We will do more on that because that's where you can gauge, because it is a night for fun, couples, and dating. But Thanksgiving and Christmas are more family oriented, and we cannot put him in the family way in any way, depending on where he is, and take that consumer versus buyer relationship test. CoachPaulagrooms.com evaluations. It's free. Take it. Figure out where he is on a scale of being ready, willing, and able to commit to you. And like I said, if he's a bona fide buyer, you know it, and he's likely talk to you about the holidays already. Prospective buyer? Maybe not. He's really walking that tightrope. Mixed messages consumer? No. Ultimate consumer? Absolutely not. But regardless, you have a game plan. You are not asking him. You are staying in your lane. And even in the dating, don't reach out with a happy Thanksgiving. Again, I say otherwise women hurt themselves. 4 little words. We are too nice. Men are not looking for nice. They want man a worthy opponent. What I mean by that is you're not opponents. It's that to understand everything is under the lens of sports for the man. And when a man plays a sport, he wants to play at his level. That makes it most interesting and fun. And if he finds someone, say it's tennis, who plays at his level, he doesn't want that person to be nice to him and let him make shots. No, he wants that person to play at their level best for the real competition. Now, your relationship, of course, is not a competition, but it's that whole feeling, because men, like I say in here, they are all about my 3 C's of men. They are about challenge, competition, conquering. We as women, we are about cooperation, connection, caretaking. Wonderful. These things couldn't be more perfect to create a family and to rear children. But when we do these things in the modern world, like caretake, be very connecting through verbalization, and we don't present a big enough challenge, we hurt ourselves from getting the love that we desire and deserve, and then the man also doesn't get necessarily what he might have wanted and what will really be best for him, and certainly best for society, because there is nothing as dangerous in our society as a man, say 17 to 37, even beyond, who has no prospects in his life for women, no sex in his life, no purpose in his life, which a woman provides to a great degree. Now, his job, of course, as well, but women give men the fullness of life. We have to rein it in, however, and put it in a package, so to speak, that he can understand and relate to. You can do this. If you are having trouble and you want an individual session with me, you can do it for free by being an anonymous guest on the podcast. If you haven't heard the podcast, it's Make Him Wonder. Go to the playlist on YouTube here and listen. You can be a guest for free. We can have a full-blown coaching conversation about your unique situation anonymously, and it's just audio. If you want a paid consultation, I will absolutely do that for you. Just email my assistant, Michelle, at coachpaulagrooms.com, and she will give you all the ways to talk to me. There are others as well that are less expensive than a consultation, but you want to think about, where do you want to be next year at this time? Next holiday season, you want to be in that full-blown relationship? Well, let's get it going. Like I said, I help you find that Mr. Right by doing online dating in a systematic, formulaic way that will get you what you desire and deserve. And back and then grow that relationship with a man you truly desire. So you create the relationship of your dreams, because relationships are created in the context of the couple by the woman. We keep relationships well-oiled, well-heeled, and we keep them running and on the right road, just like a man does it for the car. If you have one car, he's the one out of the two of you that's going to be the mechanic of that car, where you are the mechanic of the relationship, because you know them, you know what it takes, you're a different being, and we want to capitalize on that so that everybody is happy and healthy. Everybody, both of you, and any children that come from it. That's what I'm all about. Please, if you would, on the way out, hit the subscribe button and the alert bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming lives or videos. Take that test. With that, I'm going to love and leave you so your man doesn't. I'll see you in the next video.